Hi. So, I don't normally do this at the start of videos, but I would like to just chill for myself for a moment. It's been a while since my last upload, at least on this channel, but I do have a second channel where I occasionally upload. As a matter of fact, my last video, my last upload, was actually over there. It's mostly stream highlights and stuff, nicely edited down to be kind of watchable, but I think we have a lot of fun over there, so go ahead and check that out. It'll be in a card up this way. And yeah, I hope to see you there. Maybe stop by stream. We have a lot of fun.
Welcome back to a dive into the lore, the series where I talk about the lore of your favorite fantasy games. Today I'll be talking about the Korean MMORPG Mabinogi once again, specifically Generation 10. This video was long overdue, so let's get down to it, shall we? Generation 10 begins with a cutscene of Kai, which I think might be broken. Anyway, his eyes are entirely white and he strikes a pose and emits explosions in a black aura. Very cool. In case you forget, Generation 9 ended with him dying, or at least so we thought. Nice to see him looking lively, really. Check out the card in the corner for my G9 video to catch up if you need to. Cutscene over, I receive a summon from Padan who explains that the king has issued a state of emergency proclamation and declared a war against the Foam Wars, and that they've already done such a poor job that they need you to carry out a rescue mission. We enter the Shadow Realm and gang some Foam Wars to save a soldier. The soldier is grateful and tells us some rumors involving Kai appearing in the Shadow Realm before deserting the army altogether. Not a lot of military discipline in the Aliek regime, it would seem. We report back to Padan, and instead of calling for the deserter to be punished, he elaborates on the rumors instead, explaining that one of the army's elite units was wiped out by an alchemist that matches Kai's description, and that, curiously, he was able to perform alchemy without any equipment. He then sends us off to Telltown to investigate a report from Lemur. Following his orders, we arrive at Telltown's altar and see a memory from Lemur of him mourning Kai. The scene from the end of our battle with Clave Solus replays, and then the memory changes to a conversation between Lemur and the Shadow Walker, Alatha. Lemur asks the Shadow Walker about his friend's death, and Alatha stays on brand by musing about how fate and death are blessings to humans. Very edgy. He then reveals that Kai used the Caliburn, which he had just had the whole time apparently, to resurrect Lemur, and because he wasn't skilled enough to use it properly, the Caliburn consumed his soul. Exiting the Shadow Realm, we pay a visit to Andras, who tells us she's concerned about the presence of prison ghosts in the Shadow Realm, as she isn't able to understand why the spirits of Iria would be working with the Foam Wars. She sends us off to meet with Alatha, but presents us with a music box she made as a gift to him before we go, telling us it will allow us to view their memories.
What Alatha revealed to me for the first time was not of his past, but rather the pain he had endured for so long. A cruel curse with no beginning or end. He suffered and endured. When he pointed his sword at Labeus, a friend as dear to him as his own brother, he felt as if all the light in the world had disappeared, and as if his heartbeat was no more. With light nowhere to be seen in this world, all he had left was the life of a shadow walker, a ghost wandering amongst the shadows. But I knew him. I had remembered him for a long time. I understood him, his pain, his scars, and darkness. I hope that in me, he will be able to forget the darkness.
Heading back into the dreary darkness of the Shadow Realm, we hunt down Alatha, who's kinda just chilling. He tells us he thinks that the Leafal, Caliburn, and Kai are all deeply related, and that Kai has basically been possessed by the will of the Caliburn. Recalling Kiko's words, he tells us to seek information on Naunum, and tells us to look in Tara. At this point, we're sent on a series of quests sorta reminiscent of One Small Favor from RuneScape. To summarize, we trade favors to get a portrait, a poem about her, a scripture that mentions her, and a feather trinket. Alatha sends us back to the Shadow Realm so we can shove all the items we found into the oven and make the world's worst cake. We use Naunum's memorial, and it prophesies the end of the world to us.
Descendants of Sacer, are you watching Ternanog? That which you defend with your blood, lives, and courage, there will never be any as courageous as you. Heaven and earth will come together, and peace will reign. Men will put faith in their glorious swords, women in new life, and everyone in love. But even such an epic age will soon come to an end. Flowers will not bloom, not even in summer. Cows will be without milk. Trees will no longer bear fruit, and fish will disappear from the oceans. Light will be hidden in darkness, life will be hidden in death. People will lack faith in each other. Betrayal will fill the land, and kindness will be seen no more. These symptoms of Ternanog's doom will start from Iranid. The world will finally come to an end.
We report to Andras, telling her about the prophecy we saw, and she mentions that Granite and Alatha had both spoken of Iria or Iranid to her recently as well. She sends us to Kier Dungeon to view one of Alatha's memories. Inside, we see an exchange between Morgaunt and Alatha, where Alatha questions Morgaunt about his identity, claiming to know that the Dark Lord played a role in his birth. Morgaunt evades the questioning, but points Alatha to Iria. Leaving the memory, we receive a summons from Pencast. Pencast apologizes to us for the task he gave us during the fetch quest for the scripture, but tells us that our willingness to take on such a minor task has given him the confidence to share a secret of the church with us. He explains that the first pope of the Church of Limelark had written a prophecy at the end of the world, and that some of the prophecy has started to manifest. He urges us to head to Iria, and following his advice we speak to one of 3 people depending on player race. No matter who you talk to, they ask you to go out and raise your exploration level. Once you return, they then send you to one of the Iria dungeons to recover an artifact, and ask you to have it restored by Voight. Digging the item to Voight, he says he can't do the job, instead telling you to visit Aranan. We speak to him, however he gets upset at the very mention of Voight and sends us to May's Prairie Dungeon to watch a memory of that time he just sort of assumed his girlfriend was cheating on him, which prompts a back and forth of memorial item dungeons. This generation really leaned to the 2000s full of filler aspect of anime life. In the end, we are able to explain to Aranan that Ilsa confessed to Voight unprompted. This whole quest is kinda casually sexist. It's a really weird tonal shift. Anyway, he restores the artifact, and we get an owl from Kusai asking us to come see him. Arriving in Kor and speaking with Kusai, he tells us the Iranid was known as the Rainmaker, and was the one who once kept the deserts of Kaunis green. He says by acquiring the crystal artifact, we may be able to unlock a new power. Equipping alchemy gear, we learn rain casting, gaining the ability to cause it to rain over a small area at will. Once we demonstrate our new skill for him, he gives us a Rainmaker arrow and sends us to offer it at Longa Dungeon. Inside Longa, we escort a lost elf through the dungeon, only to be ambushed by Cichol. He tells us about the Book of Ternadog's doom and says it's time for us to die, summoning the Caliburn-possessed Kai. We fight to a standstill, but Kai uses the power of the Caliburn to hit us with a powerful water cannon. Cichol gloats, implying that Naunum is the one who will bring about the end of the world and leaves us to die. Not sure if he accounted for the Milesian being immortal? Either way, Waboka shows up and saves us. As we part, he tells us that we are the only ones who can save the world. That heavy burden on us, we exit the dungeon and travel back to Pencast. We get Pencast caught up on the encounter with Cichol and the apparent connection between Naunum and Iranid, and he tips us off that the heart of Iranid has been seen in the Shadow Realm. We investigate and find ourselves in the shadowy counterpart to Tara, wandering through the city and fighting waves of Fomorians until we arrive at the jousting arena. Inside, we encounter Mata. Mata challenges us to a joust, seeking to avenge Tethra's defeat. He has, however, deeply underestimated us. We unhorse him easily, and we take him on foot, utterly defeating the Fomorian. Mata admits his failure to judge us as a threat, but says that now that the Fomors have both Caliburn and the Heart of Korkul from Naunum, the tides will surely turn. Returning to Padan, we're informed that the expedition has captured the Heart of Korkul, but became surrounded and requires assistance. We enter the Shadow Realm and join Granite, Karpfen, and Andras. Together with their forces, we fight back wave after wave of Fomorian soldiers until the elf we saved in Longa Dungeon is attacked by a golem. We intercept the monster, and the elf approaches the heart before revealing herself as none other than Naunum. The newly revealed Naunum says the heart should have never been trusted with mortals, taking it and vanishing. Immediately afterwards, Cichol appears.
He explains that he plans to unite the light of the heart with the darkness of Caliburn, and then condescends the expeditionary force villainously before trying to murder everyone present. Alatha shows up, blocking his spell and striking a bargain to save Andras and the rest. Porting back to Padan one last time, we're sent to the Shadow Korib Valley. There, we meet with Lemur and parley with Naunum. We see the goddess chanting, imbuing the light of the heart into the Caliburn-possessed Kai. Lemur pleads with the goddess, asking how he can restore his friend to his former self, but the goddess says that this is the path the Kai has chosen for himself. She then goes on to explain that she intends to purify Eren, because it has ceased to be an eternal paradise, due to human influence. Cichol appears with Alatha in tow. The two meet, and it's revealed that Alatha is, in fact, Naunum's only son. Cichol betrays Naunum, revealing that while he too intends to purify Eren, he plans to use more violent means, sacrificing Alatha and using a blood purification to destroy the soul stream. Naunum is dismayed, pleading with her son not to go along with the plan, but Alatha kinda shirks his mom, because he's just edgy like that, then gives us back the music box from earlier. He says it was the only thing that saved him from being consumed by the shadows, and then submits himself to Cichol, becoming one with the Caliburn and the heart. Cichol sends the Caliburn, Kai, Heart of Korkul, Alatha combo to the soul stream, and Naunum's temper flares. It seems like the two may begin fighting in earnest when Morrigan appears, putting a stop to the two and urging us to the soul stream to stop Kichol's plan. We entered the soul stream, leaving the gods to banter briefly among themselves as our final battle with the Caliburn, with Kai, unfolds. The Caliburn takes on the form of our doppelganger, and attacking it directly is dangerous, reflecting damage back to us. If we wait, Kai will taunt us and allow us a moment to use the music box Alatha had given us. The music seems to put the doppelganger in pain, and we can use that opportunity to give the bad suck. We suck so hard, in fact, that we steal its demigod powers and use Spear of Light to disperse the darkness of Caliburn, defeating the Dopple and freeing Kai from its influence. Now appears to us, thanking us for saving the soul stream before kicking us out and rolling the credits. And that's it. The generation is over. I have to say, I really don't like this boss fight. It caused me so many problems on stream just because I forgot to rink life drain. This generation is kinda short because a large chunk of it is just fetch quest filler. Normally after the story recap, I tell you about the myths that inspired certain characters, events, whatever else was relevant. I've been kind of feeling that that format has aged a little poorly though, so all that will now be its own video, which should be up, I think, the following Wednesday after this one. And that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching to the end. I'll be back next time with Generation 11, maybe a video remake between this video and the next. There may also be a non-Mabinogi video coming pretty soon. It's something that I've been very excited to make for quite some time, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. I don't want to give too much away though. If you would like, consider come seeing me live on Twitch. I am live fairly often. I'm trying to get back into a regular schedule, and I try to post that in the community section of my channel, though I don't always do the best about that. But yeah, you can find the link to that in the description below, and I hope I'll see you guys there. I have a lot of fun over there. As always, a special thanks to my patrons, Emigen, Sunflares, and Zonk. I couldn't do this without them. Have a great day.